I am your father!
Wow, cool lightsaber. But I'm trying to find R2-D2 here.
Is it not in that big pile of Star Wars minifigs?
No.
Do we need to build a Star Wars storage for our minifigures?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Who doesn't like Lego? And as a Star Wars fan and a Lego fan, the Star Wars Lego range is the best combination I can think of. And as you've just seen, my young Padawan has just challenged me to create the ultimate Star Wars minifigure storage solution. And I'm going to do that with some style. One thing that you can't deny is that Star Wars love their crates, their cargo containers, their boxes. Every scene almost is littered with these in the background, and they do create that kind of lived-in feel. So I wanted to use some of that as my inspiration, and I particularly liked, in one of the new modern movies, Star Wars Rogue One, the epic orange, iconic, I'm going to say, crates that you see in various scenes. So what is it that I actually want to create? Well, my young Padawan has already told me that he wants to be able to find his R2 units easily, and in general he just wants somewhere to store all of his minifigures. In our young Padawan's playroom, he just so happened to have the Lego Creative Box that has the oversized 2x2 Lego lid. This is an amazing piece of kit, and I was always kind of thinking about maybe I could create some kind of prop with this. My wife, she loves, storing things in boxes in the kids' playrooms and making everything organised. So she doesn't know I've actually used this yet and turned it into a Jeddah Kyber crystal canister lid. But you're not going to tell her, so let's crack on. Now these plans could be printed out onto paper and then you could trace them onto foam. Because most of the parts aren't hugely intricate, you could do most of this with a craft knife. However, I sent it all to the laser cutter just because it's more fun. So other than the oversized Lego lid and the Technic Lego mechanical parts, this is an entirely foam build. I used 5mm and 10mm high-density foam from my amazing sponsor and supplier, Tyges Supplies. As always, link in my description. As you can see here, I was able to get some nice etch detail as well as cutting from this desktop laser. I've put a link in my description, but as always guys, if you're going to purchase one of these, make sure you're safe when you use it. Eye protection, some kind of breathing apparatus, and definitely a perspex screen between you and the cutter. I've had a few ideas about how I could make some kind of mechanical compartment that could open and close using the Lego Technic remote control solution. So the general idea is to be able to create a mechanism that will move this up and down from inside the crate. This will sit on the top, which will make part of the outside skin of the crate, and will move up and down with the mechanism. Now, to create the mechanism, I'm going to actually use the Technic parts, and there's quite a few different ways of making lifts out of Technic Lego. Elevators, there's lots of different ways of doing it. There's the pincer, there is the rack and pinion, and the good thing about these modern Technic tracks is they allow you to connect the connector pins into the different places on the track, which of course gives me the opportunity to convey this up and down, and then drill a couple of holes into this, and that will connect and move up and down with the track. So we've got the battery pack, which is a simple on-off with a connector here. This is the remote control device. You've got forward and backwards motion on up to 2 motors with this, and you can change the channels as well. This is the remote receiver, and this is a motor. going to go ahead and connect this up to the battery pack. And then I'm going to connect the motor to the receiver. I'm going to turn this on. And we can then go ahead and power it up. Now, as you can see at the minute, that's pretty quick. So now we've got a really small cog driving a big cog. So now we get a much slower and smoother transition. So now what we're going to do is transfer this into a larger mechanism and put it inside the crate. You can see here that we still have the track and we have the motor. You can see there as well that there's the ratio of the larger gear and the smaller gear and a natural base, so that this is one complete unit. You can also see the lid that will eventually form the outside of the crate, and around here you can see that it's obviously two-sided. We've got the astromech droids this side, we've got the protocol droid and K2 on this side. There are runners built into the side of the foam lift. This allows the foam to slide up and down and use this as a guide, and that's on both sides, so it keeps it straight on its up and down journey. In the bottom there, the two interconnecting rods that are actually drilled into this lift mechanism, and you see a nice steady rise and close. Now, this isn't a servo motor, it's just a normal motor, so it will continue to spin until I let go of the switch. So what I've done on top of the gear, I've built in some stoppers, which is not the best idea, but as you can see there, as we spin around, these two stoppers actually move around as they're connected to the cog itself, and when they hit this rod, it stops, and I've measured it and positioned it at just the right place so that the height brings the figures proud of the top of the crate, and the natural resistance obviously stops it from continuing to move and therefore popping the lift out of the top of the mechanism. And likewise on the way down, those stoppers stop on the other side of the rod, and I've measured it just so that the lift itself is actually perfectly flat on the bottom. In the last few episodes, I've shown you a couple of different ways on making the metal scratch and flake effects on your props. We've used a silver Sharpie, we've also used toothpaste which you've rubbed off afterwards. However, this time I wanted to try the masking fluid. So you can see here I'm dabbing the fluid on in the areas that I want to later pull away and therefore flake off that final paint layer. And it actually worked really well. I did use a combination of the flaking technique and my silver Sharpie because I wanted a little bit more control about where that damage was. I originally just used a cheap orange rattle can that I got online. It was quite a nice orange, but it just wasn't deep enough for me. And depending on what scene you're watching in Rogue One, the crates do look different colours. As is usually the case with a movie, each scene is colour graded, and therefore some things do look different. However, it did mean that I had to go over and paint the whole thing again, and I actually used the Flexi Paint white, and I mixed in there a red, a yellow and a brown acrylic, and got this really nice deep orange. I used a sponge and the brush to get some cool textures.
awesome, but where's R2-D2?
You have to use the Force, mate. He's in that secret compartment. Again, guys, for watching. I'm really overwhelmed by the support that I've been getting on these episodes. We're only 5 episodes down and there's so much more content coming at you. So the next episode, episode 6, will be the first room build video where I'm going to show you my progress on the Millenium Falcon seating area and the door. I do love this bit. It's really cool how that's kind of worked. It started yellow, you know, just on a creative Lego box, and now it's my Kyber crystal canister.
Okay. What have you done with our Lego storage?
Until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode where we build something from a galaxy far, far away.